Merry Christmas, everyone. We're back with our series of testing every single position and archetype and see who develops the best in college football 25. In this one, we'll be testing the wide receiver. We got the physical athlete wide receiver, then also the regular physical route running, and then also the deep threat. It's going to be super interesting, some of the information y'all receive in this video. We already tested the quarterback, O-line, D-line, tight end, safeties as well. Next, we have running backs, cornerbacks, and then also the linebackers. Y'all let me know down in the comments which one y'all want to see tomorrow, and we'll be sure to drop it. If y'all enjoy the content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Go check out my Twitch. We're probably live right now on Christmas doing a Hawaii over to the SEC stream and having a lot of fun with that. All right, so let's look at the recruits we're going to be using for this experiment, man. So we have 3 physical wide receivers. One's going to be an athlete that we're going to make sure we move to wide receiver. We have 3 also deep threat wide receivers. One's a 5-star. The other 2 are going to be 4-star gems. And then everyone else is going to be here. Everyone here is a gem other than that 5-star. And then we also have 2 route running receivers. It's something super interesting and weird about the route running receivers. We're going to get into that in a little bit. Let's look at everyone's development traits. So physical receiver, we got star development, impact, route running with elite development, star development for the other route running, impact for other physical receivers, star, and then also impact development. But the thing that's so weird about these route running receivers, if we come over here to the prospect list, press triangle on PS5, and we come over here to positions, and then we also just sort by wide receiver, and you can sort by archetype. Let's do route running, 4 stars or above, and you'll see something very crazy here, man. Shout out to my guy in the stream yesterday that dropped this knowledge on me. When it comes to all of these route running receivers have the same exact deal breaker, man. Staying close to home. Every single one of these guys have the same exact deal breaker. And that made me thinking, I'm like, is it any other position groups that have this? Like, is there any other position and that specific archetype that have the same exact deal breaker? And then I start thinking, I'm like, well, do all these receivers have the same exact hard sell? And I figured out, yes, they do. We did a lot of different runs. This video took a long time to make. And we did a lot of different runs trying to recruit these route running receivers. And what I realized is all of these guys have the same exact hard sell. So this is going to be the hard sell right here. It's called team player, and it consists of athletic facilities, coach stability, and then also that staying close to home, which is their deal breaker. Every one of them have that same exact hard sell, man. And y'all let me know if y'all seen this with any other archetype or position, whatever. Y'all let me know down in the comments so we could drop a video on it. All right, man, so we got all of our freshman receivers on campus, and we can now look at their overall. And I think it's consistently that the deep threat, or excuse me, the physical receivers come in with the highest overall. So 76 overall for our 4-star athlete. Now deep threat 75 also for the other deep threat, 73 for the other physical, 73 for this guy. And then the last physical receiver is going to be the athlete that we moved over to wide receiver. He's only going to be in as a 70 overall, man. You're better off moving this guy to safety. At safety, he was like a 75. At tight end, he was also like a 75. But at actually playing him at wide receiver, he's the lowest overall. You better just going off a regular physical wide receiver. And then you look here, the route running receivers. I don't know what's going on with these guys, but they consistently come in as a 68, 69 overall as a 4-star. You get them at a 5-star. I had a situation in my last attempt of making this video where we had a 5-star gem route running receiver that came in as a 70 overall, man. And you see here, we got 2 of them, man. Route running receivers. They're coming in as a 69, 68. And it's like, how? How do that make sense? How are they starting off at such a disadvantage? Come over here National Signing Day, and I'll show you once again that they are actually, you know, route running receivers. They're both gems, and they're just coming in with the low overall, man. Even got some elite speed. 69 speed for a route running receiver, or 96 speed, excuse me, for a route running receiver is great. And this other one is elite development. He's coming in as a 68, 69 overall. It's crazy to see. But let's advance and see how these guys progress. All right, let's also check to see how these guys will upgrade, how many points it costs them to upgrade each category. For the safeties, it was super interesting. We figured out that essentially the hybrid safeties do not develop. So let's start with the deep threat here, man. I think it's also going to be interesting once we get to the route running receivers. We'll see. But the upgrade, the route running for a deep threat receiver only costs 2, costs 4 for the hands. The elusiveness is 6. the power is 8, and then the IQ is going to be 2, speed is going to be 13. So he could get better at route running, but these are not great skill caps. Like, as an actual wide receiver, he can't get much better. Like, he could upgrade his route running and his hands by 3 in total, but the power is not super useful, and then also the IQ is not super useful when it comes to actually being a good receiver. So that's not ideal, not great, but is what it is. Look at the physical guy, and this will probably be the guy I'll bet on to actually win this challenge when it comes to actually getting to the highest overall. And what we see here is it costs 10 to upgrade the power. The route running is 2, which is also fairly cheap. The hands is 5, more expensive for sure. Elusiveness is going to be 5. IQ is going to be 2. Quickness is going to be 12. And then you look at the route runner. Got to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the screen for these guys. And this is going to be the cheapest to upgrade. And it makes sense. They're coming in with the lowest overall, so it makes sense for them to be the cheapest for them to upgrade and get better. But elusiveness is going to be 6, route runner is going to be 3, hands is also going to be 3, IQ 2, power 8, and quickness is going to be 13. So I feel like it's not a tremendous difference. Like, for the safety room, big difference. The hybrid safety to the run support and then also the zone, big difference when it comes to how quickly they can upgrade. Here is not as big of a gap, but I do think the physical receivers will have an edge when it comes to actually reaching their full potential. But let's go ahead and figure out. So it's also worth looking at our coach build, and this is our super recruiter coach build. So actually our head coach has nothing that's going to impact the wide receivers, their development at all. We're not in the motivator, not into architect. Someone suggested that maybe for these challenges we should go in the motivator and even go in the master motivator and max it out so these guys are receiving their most possible XP. And we could do that for one of these, but for me, most people are not going to have that master motivator, so it kind of will skew the data, I feel like, a little bit. Now, offensive coordinator, he does have the motivator maxed out for wide receiver, so that tier 3 all-season training boost, so we'll get that from our offensive coordinator. Our defensive coordinator does not have that ability for wide receiver, but he still do have that tier 1 ability where if we do have a receiver drafted in the top 3 rounds, all of those receivers will receive a boost. So that's one thing to keep in mind. All right, so draft results, and we had a receiver go in the top 2 rounds, so we should expect all of our receivers to receive some type of XP boost. One thing also to mention, we do not plan on playing any of our receivers their entire career. Obviously, especially the guys with elite development, they would get to a much higher overall, maybe not much higher, but they would get to a higher overall if they was a starter playing, especially in the slot, picking up a lot of numbers. But to keep this thing fair, there's no way we could play every single one of these receivers. People will out-progress other people because they're getting playing time and getting those XP. So to keep it fair, we're not going to play anyone. And we may see something similar to what we saw in that quarterback video where they did not develop as well because they probably wasn't playing. But for the D linemen, for the safeties, they developed like crazy without ever playing a snap in their career. We had players go in the first round that never played a snap. So we'll see what happens with the wide receivers. All right, so we hit first year of training results, and we have some progression, especially from our physical wide receiver. He is up to a 88 overall, man. Over 10 plus overall jump for this man. I believe he was a 76, and he is up to an 88. Went up around 12 overalls, but he is maxed out. He get better with the IQ a little bit, but damn near maxed out. So at this point, he'll probably just upgrade his abilities. But he is now our best receiver in the room. We still won't play him. Keep that in mind. He still will not play even though he's our best. Let's look here. Our other physical receiver is the next highest overall, and that's what I predicted. I think the physical receivers will progress the best and get to the highest overall, and so far that is true. He's up to a 81 overall. We're looking at the true overall. That's going to be in the top right corner, not the overall with the tactician boost. Looking at our next guy, deep threat, he's going to be up to an 80 overall. Other deep threat, 80. Physical is up to a 78. This is the guy that was an athlete guy that started off as like a 70. So he went up 8 overalls, which is still very good. But yeah, he started off very low. Now looking at the route runners that started off 68 and 69 overall, they're up to a 76. This other deep threat up to a 78, and the last route runner is up to a 75. So that's year 1 of progression. And yeah, some interesting things here, man. Definitely crazy how much, this guy right here, Eric, jumped up. He just kind of reached his full potential pretty much after his first year. Another year all-season training. And let's see here, man. So our physical receiver is up to an 89 overall. And just like I predicted, he is now kind of just developing his abilities. He's officially maxed out. Can't get any better without unlocking skill caps. And in this series, we don't have anything that will unlock the skill caps for our coaches. So he's kind of just maxed out. He'll continue to improve his abilities as we already see him starting. And you look here. The route running receiver, listen, they might start behind. They might start as a 68, 69 as a 4-star, so much worse than all the other receivers starting off. But he jumps all the way up to an 88 overall, and he maxed out. This is the one with the elite development, and he could get better. Elite skill caps on this guy. Hands is elite. 98 on the hands. Wow, 98 hands, 99 catching in traffic. I don't know if I've seen too many receivers with that, man. Also got the 93 speed. He get better with power. Even his route running could continue to improve. He's a route running receiver. His route running is not even maxed out not maxed out, not yet at least. So he could continue to get a lot better. And that's cool to see. Let's look at our other guys here, though. They're all going to be the sophomores. Our deep threat is up to an 84 overall. He's also developing some abilities as well. Our other deep threat up to an 82. Physical receiver up to an 81. Our other physical is up to an 81 as well. And then our last route runner is going to be up to an 80. And then the guy all the way down here in last place, also 80 overall, he is going to be a deep threat receiver. Let's go ahead and advance to the next year. And things are going interesting. We're going to bench all of these guys once again. One of them might be our 4th string receiver, 5th string maybe. But yeah, they're all not going to play. All right, so everyone has now hit their junior year. And let's look at the development of some of these players, man. So our guy, Eric, is still number 1, but he is maxed out, and he is developing his abilities pretty nicely, man. Got them things on gold and also silver now. Our deep threats up to 89. Nick made a solid jump, and he's now tied for 1st. Our route runner is still up to an 88, but he is now developing abilities. So he's not upgrading his overall anymore. He's getting those abilities. Our other deep threats up to an 83, 82 for the other one. Physical receiver, 82. Last deep threat. Oh, no, this is not one of the guys we brought in. And then also our physical receiver, 81. And lastly, our route running receiver at an 80. So those two are just not developing great at all. The route running receiver here, star development, 4-star. And he's just maxed out. That's what it is. He can't get no better. Wow, he maxes out as an 82 overall. Let's look at the other receiver that's not progressing. It's going to be this guy right here, the deep threat. Let's see what's his deal. He maxed out as well, normal development. And yes, he's pretty much maxed out. So he's kind of maxed out as an 80 overall. Very unfortunate, man. You get some of these elite receivers that you think will be great players, and they max out literally as an 80 overall, 4-star gems, also 4-star normals, and he's just maxing out such low overalls. Let's look at this guy, other physical guy that's not really developing. Impact, and he's maxed out as well. Some of these guys are gems, man. Maxing out as an 80, 81 overall. Unfortunate. Nothing we could do. So we'll advance to these guys' senior year and see that last season of training. I'm thinking a lot of these receivers are just maxed out, man. And it's unfortunate because, like, every position group is different. Like, the O-linemen are rarely maxing out. 4-star, even the 4-star busts are rarely maxing out. Then you get to receiver. You got these 4-star gems, 5 stars, and they're maxing out as an 82, 83, 85 overall, and it's like, damn. So every position is just super different when it comes to them reaching their full potential, and wide receiver really just seems to be one of them positions. They reach their full potential ASAP. And one thing I'm thinking, that architect ability, whenever you level up a wide receiver and they have a chance to unlock a skill cap, I think it's going to be very useful just for the wide receiver position and getting that unlocked. All right, so we hit the off-season player leaving screen, and our route running receiver jumps up to a 92 overall, and he is about to leave for the NFL. Like, we have no chance of bringing him back. The other 2 receivers, that's 89, and their deep threat physical, we convinced them to come back for their senior year. But we put one player in the NFL after 4 years, and he was one of the route runners that actually has some pretty good development caps, and he could get a lot better. Our last season of development, and everyone is damn near maxed out. Like, everyone has reached their full potential in the wide receiver room, man. Damn near every single player, even the players that's maxing out, like 83 overall. Like, look here, maxed out. Continue to look, man. A lot of these guys are just not able to get any better at all. Even some of these guys down here, down the board we showed you earlier, everyone is reached their full potential. And you rarely see that. Like, safeties, cornerbacks, those guys rarely ever reach their full potential, and we have every single one of these wide receivers. So 89 for the deep threat, and then also the physical wide receiver. That's the highest potential they can get to. These other guys, 83, 82, 82, 81, 80, and then also 81. And it's not great. Recruiting wide receiver is tough, man. You damn near got to go after a gym, or you get something like this where they just max out low overalls. And so we'll sim to these guys throughout these guys' senior year, and we'll see who gets drafted, where they get drafted. But like I said, I really think that ability where an archetype where players are able to just upgrade and get better, unlike more skill caps as they upgrade. And then also even that CO ability where all rising seniors will upgrade, increase their skill cap by one. That would have been super useful for these wide receivers. All right, looking at the draft, we had 2 players go to the NFL, 3 in total. Nick goes into the top 2 rounds, and then also other physical receiver goes in the 5th round. So we had one of each archetype make it to the NFL, man. Out of all 8 players, 3 of them went to the league. Everyone reached their full potential in the wide receiver room. So take that how you want. Good, bad, I'd much rather have, like a cornerback where they not going to reach their full potential, but at least the possibility for them to get better instead of these guys just maxing out as an 82. Like, that don't happen for the safeties and cornerbacks, man. It really don't happen for a lot of position groups, but it is what it is. Wide receiver and tight end, it certainly happens, man. It certainly happens for those positions, even quarterback sometimes. But, man, if y'all enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, man. Appreciate y'all for watching. Y'all let me know down below which video y'all want to see tomorrow. And check out my Twitch for the live stream over there. But we on to the next one.